Hello traders, hello everyone, and welcome to our new video on the FX markets. We will actually look at some of the most important markets based on the latest geopolitical events. As you know, based on latest news regarding Russia and Ukraine, they will negotiate in the next 24 hours. So maybe there is some optimism going on at the moment. In fact, stock market has stabilized a little bit last week, especially the US stock market. So if we get a little bit of optimism here at the start of the week, I think that there can be more upside coming on stocks. I mean, always when you have this sharp moves to the down, like we have seen here in the last few weeks on stocks, well, markets or investors in general are desperately looking and waiting for any positive news. So if something positive news come out when the markets are lower, well, you could see a very nice bounce in prices. I also think that we should watch two very important markets which are like roadmap for this risk on risk off environment regarding Russia and Ukraine. These are obviously gold and crude oil. Now, firstly, if we take a look here on crude oil, on gold, well, we have seen a very nice push to the upside, but notice that market were not been able to make a daily close above 1960, okay, not even 1916. So market came back to the downside. It was probably due to too much of optimism on gold. So as you know, if something is expected widely to go up, then well, this may not be the case. So I think that sentiment has played a role here. It sent prices back to the downside, at least in the short term. So we could see some kind of a pullback here in the near future. If you look closely on the 1 hour time frame charts, I can even see 5 waves down and 3 waves up. So I think that there is room for more weakness, even if just short term, for a retest of 1860, 1850 level, which could still be a very good support for our next bounce. But I think that at least for now, this metal is not looking bullish while this 1975 holds, or 1960. Okay. So if we see here gold moving to the downside, if we will see crude oil also holding this $100 per barrel as an important resistance, then I think that this could be a sign that markets are trying to stabilize after recent events, and this could have a positive impact on stocks. So if we look at also at crude oil and the S&P 500 later. So firstly, here on crude oil, you can actually see that on a higher degree time frame charts, that's actually daily, not weekly, sorry. So here on daily, what we see is a potentially 5 waves up in or at resistance here up there. You can also see a divergence here on the RSI as well. Notice that I have also here this channel, and the upper parallel trend line has been retested a few times, but notice that so far we haven't seen fifth wave making any throwovers. So in fact, since we can count very nicely 5 subways within this wave 5, I will show you this in a second, I think that we should be aware of potential reversal to the downside. Even if just retest of the some very strong supports a little bit lower, I think that this market could hold this resistance for now. So here's this potentially 5 waves up, okay, and you have here very massive reversal. So either we just stay sideways here, or maybe even move to the downside. I just think that it's a little bit late to look for any opportunities on the long side here, okay. However, there's still obviously plenty of risk on the table. If something dramatic again will unfold in Ukraine, if this will just keep going and keep continuing, then of course crude oil could easily retest $100 up there. Also, what is very interesting to watch is obviously dollar yen as well. Now, if gold would hold that very strong resistance up there, then I think the dollar yen could in fact see more upside. And what we see here on dollar yen is actually a sideways price action. Okay, so I think this could be very easily be counted as a running triangle, maybe already finished. Why? Because on the 4 hour time frames, for time frame charts, I can count 5 subwaves: A, B, C, D, and you have wave E. And notice that last week market has made a very nice 7 swing pullback here, which can be already representing end of a wave E, followed by very sharp rise. So I'm thinking about more upside here as gold holds resistance. At the same time, obviously watch US stock market. If stock market will see move to the upside, I think that yen is the currency that will suffer the most. So in such case, I'm expecting more upside on dollar yen. Obviously, we should also observe and watch what the US yields are doing. Okay, and now let's take a look also on the S&P 500. Now here on the S&P 500, what we are seeing or tracking here on the daily chart is that despite very strong reversal here from the start of the year, in fact in 2022 Elliott wave video update, I back in December or sorry, start in January, I said that we are most likely are going to see limited upside here. I didn't know what will be the reason, but based on a different type of patterns on Elliott wave structures, I've been anticipating a reversal. And so far, what we see is that this reversal, yes, is very strong, which is very common on stocks, especially when you have also an ending diagonal or wedge, like in our case here. So I'm not surprised by this drop, but what is the most important at this stage is that this still is looking corrective. Okay, you have still very strong supports here that are trying to limit the current weakness. And more importantly, I always, not always, but whenever I have a free wave drop from the highs, I will try to label this retracement as a correction within a higher degree uptrend, because I know that in such case I will have better odds to be right rather than wrong. Okay, so I still think that we have to respect the higher degree uptrend because we have these free waves down. We also see German DAX making a big free wave pullback from the highs. And as I said, these markets are doing quite well if we consider what has recently unfolded over the last few weeks. So if something positive comes out, if there will be some sense of optimism, I think that these markets could of course again turn back to the upside. However, this upper trend line, this resistance should be broken for this market to really to see more gains here. So far we have a very nice overlap with the first one with 43.60, so that could be the first indication that we are trying to stabilize here. But much more important level would be, of course, for a bullish case, would be of course an overlap with this wave A, and then obviously also a broken trend line of resistance. Okay, so in such case I would be looking for a minimum 3 waves up, potentially back towards this wave X, maybe just temporary resistance. So we'll see. So based on the price action, what I see here, when crude oil, as long the crude oil is holding that $100 per barrel, this resistance, as long gold is holding that resistance, I think that stocks have chance for a bounce higher. And at the same time, I think the dollar yen could be looking for potential break out of a triangle. For now, dollar yen is still sideways, but so far it's looking very promising. Traders, thank you very much for your attention. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you're not our member yet, please check our website and try to apply for a trial for 1 month. Okay, traders, have a good day. Bye.